Okay, well, good morning. Good morning from Tampa, Florida. And today is another session of Grandma's March, and a very special one because we have my special dearest friend, accountability partner, sister, fellow, and partner in this amazing project and Grandma's March event, and is Marjolein Nagel. That's their name, and I don't know if I pronounce it right, March, but it's a pleasure for me to have you here and have this session because I know we really started together. I guess life brought us together into this project. We are from the Shakti leadership, and I guess we talk about that in our first session. So that's how we got connected, let's say, in our paths, and through my project that was inspiring my grandmothers, and through your project, when we found out there was this common thread, we start talking and understanding, and then I think all it started from there. And now we're here, and it's been already like a week of this
something amazing started. I don't know, it's really a beautiful example of when it's starting from inspiration, then it can explode and it doesn't stop anymore. Because I remember that we were discussing whether we should organize a closing session or whatever, but it doesn't feel like anything needs to be closed. We just continue.
You're right. So yes. Yeah, we decided not to close anything, and I really wanted to do a session with you because you deserve this space of sharing your story, sharing the amazing work and project that you have in mind and that you're working on. So yeah, so Marjolein, she's going to tell us her story, but what I know is she's this amazing woman that is entering into her 60s, and she's going to start like a personal quest and journey through that, understanding everything that means to going through this age, and collecting stories and collecting a platform, putting a platform together of sharing some personal stories around feminine wisdom. So we both are weaving around feminine wisdom, and I know you are now a grandma of today that you can share about that as well. And you come from the communication sector, that's what I know, and you're a change manager from the public sector, like at all levels, local, national, international level. And also you have an education in literature and arts. So, and now you're my accountability partner, and now we created this and we're here today. So for me, it's a pleasure to have you here, and welcome. Again.
Thank you, Monica. It really feels very special to be introduced like a guest in this way. Like you have introduced already so many guests the past few days, weeks.
Yeah.
Already. Yes. And well, we already shared it in our opening session how we got to meet each other, how we got to get connected. And I shared there that we both came from different ends. You started with the story of your grandmothers, Rosita and Peppa.
Yeah.
And I am starting from the other end, also from the other end of the world, it really feels. So like you say, now I'm entering my 60s. Actually, this year I'm turning 60. Actually, in a few months, maybe I can start counting the weeks already. And I remember when I was, let's say 1 year ago, I was really thinking, how will it be to be 60? And what does it mean to turn 60? And I feel that I have so many questions. It really feels like it's a blank sheet for me. Mm-hmm. I don't have many role models. I have many questions. I don't know where to turn, what to do. And what I have learned in life and what I have learned from also the Shakti Fellowship is that it's sometimes necessary to take a pause, to just sit or walk or hike. I've been doing that also in my life, to take a pause, to take a sabbatical, to think, to reflect and wait and see what happens. Just create some time
Yeah.
to see what happens.
Yes.
And to understand a little bit, maybe it's also nice to know what my life has been before I entered this phase, because, well, what I've discovered in this, because I started looking how am I going to answer this question. So I'm looking for, do people know? Can they share stories? And I found out this story of Jane Fonda. She has this TED Talk. It's about the third act. And this really started my inspiration, because she said there's not enough attention for women entering their third act in life. And in fact, there are three acts, until 30, until 60, and then until 90. So in entering the 60s, you are entering your third act, like in a theater piece.
That you said, I never heard about that. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, I can share it also on the Facebook page. And what she is sharing is that entering your third act, it's also time to reflect on how have your first and your second act been, because in the third act, like in the heroine's journey, it's also about telling the story. In the third act, it kind of combines all the things that happened in your life until then, and then it's time to make up the threads and to make up the final conclusion. But first you have to look back. So this really, and that also means you need time to look back. And I am in the lucky circumstances, which I have created myself, I found out. So that was also nice to thank myself, that I have created these circumstances, that I can take leave from work for 2 years, so I can really make this journey around 60. So I can take a sabbatical to reflect, to write, to share stories, to interview people, and see what comes. But before that, I have been really working very, very hard. And learning hard and enjoying my life very hard. So it's not only that I have been really, it had been too serious, but still, I come from a family, and we were talking a lot about ancestors this past week.
Story.
Yes, and I have discovered that my ancestors, they are not so loud and clear, and I don't know them so very well. But what I have taken from at least my parents and my grandparents is that you have to use all the possibilities you have in life. So all the chances, all the talents that you have to use them. You have to make all the best out of it, and really work hard and look to the future to make sure that you're improving your life, because that's what they were doing. They were working hard to make my life better. So this is what really was was really instilled in me, to work hard, to play hard, and to make everything out of life that's possible. And that's what I did. So I really had a very interesting life. I worked abroad, I lived abroad, seen so many countries, so many places to work. I was able to make a career, to earn enough money so that now I can have this luxury of taking the time off. I was earning the family income for me and my husband and our 4 sons. Unluckily, we were not able to maintain the marriage, so we divorced, but still I was able to take care of the boys and also of the family income, which I really took pride into it. But at the same time, it feels like now I'm a little bit tired of that. And it also feels like this is not what is necessary for the coming 30 years. Although I don't know what will be it, but there should be something different. So in starting my journey and wondering, and I was saying that I'm trying to find out how does the modern age crone look like.
Yeah.
So this is really my quest. That how the modern age is not so difficult because I really feel being part of the modern age. But the crone is really a figure which in the Western part of the world it only exists in the fairy tales.
That's true.
And I discovered that in the Anglo-Saxon literature, there's a little bit more pride in being and taking this role of the crone, but well, not in the Netherlands. I cannot find anything or anybody talking about it. Some younger women, but not the wise old woman. So in this search, we crossed our paths because I found out about your project, Rosita and Peppa, and I thought, oh, maybe she can tell me more about it. And then you were sharing about your grandmothers, and I was really so impressed with the love and the memories and the beautiful stories you were able to share on them. And in the first encounter, I felt a little bit sad about it because I felt really, well, one grandmother I have never only seen once, so I don't have so many memories. Then we did an interview, and I found out that the other grandmother I have more memories than I thought.
Yes.
And she really brought back to me the love for the textile and the tactile things and the beauty of cloth, which I had not realized that I had taken it from her. So that was beautiful. So it was very healing to have this interview with you. And during the past month or the past weeks, I have also realized all the stories of all the other women that you have interviewed and that we have seen with their beautiful stories. I realized that these memories of all these grandmothers, it's not only in the individual persons, but it's there for everybody, for every one of us. So I've really felt this grandmother energy. Maybe it was not in my close surroundings, but now I feel it's easier to get connected to it. So little by little, my third, or at least some more wisdom is around me. I still don't know what it is going to look like, but well, little by little, some questions are being answered.
I love that. And you're right. I think through all these stories and starting from yours, of course, it's like we are accessing something universal here that is going to help you and all of us find our own way, and understand where can you search for more, how can you do it in your own very authentic and particular way, because there is each of us will have a way to get maybe to the same place, but we have to build it from our own story and from our own place. And
exactly. So that's also the reason why I decided that when I'm going on this journey and on this quest, I'm not going to do it in silence. So that's why I wanted to have this platform, the website, that I'm going to blog about what's going on, my own reflections, but also interviews with women that I think that could be a role model or that could share some interesting insights. And that's also where I'm sharing the films, the books, the novels, whatever I can find on this issue. Because I trust that if it's my journey, if it's my quest, then there must be somebody else somewhere in this world whose quest it also is. And then I can share, and it's not only for myself, but it's also for a larger purpose that I'm doing it. And I'm confirmed by this Grandmother's March, how it started, how it was evolving. That is somewhere in a collective.
Yeah, and it's so needed, because I remember when I started with this project thinking what I'm gonna do with this and why this inspiration of the grandmothers and how can I take it to something more practical, concrete to the real world today. and of course all these memories and accessing all this universal grandmother. But then that's when I did my question, what about the grandmothers of today? And
Yeah,
when I thought about that, because I was seeing my own mother, that she's a grandma of
yeah,
today, and she's
yeah,
full of energy, she's full of life. And what
yeah,
about her? It's like we cannot forget about the grandmas of today. And even those that are not biologically a grandma, but what about those wise women that are today there, full of experience, wisdom, energy to do things in another way or in a new way? So
yeah,
then it's like when I found you, it's like, yeah, this is, yes, that's your part.
yeah.
Yes,
True.
yes,
Yes, but I also feel that it's full of energy, and the grandmothers of today are maybe not the how do you call them, the stereotypes of
yeah,
or the romantic
right,
memories,
yes,
but also something changed in society because we live longer and we live longer in good health.
yeah,
So it's also something we are reinventing,
yes,
and that's what I'm discovering, that especially this 10 years between 60 and 70, eh, if 30 years ago people were just tired, or not even alive at that time,
oh,
so they were just resting and sitting in their rocking chairs,
right, yeah,
as
like the
their
grandmas.
poster. But that was it. And now at this time, you can start a new study, you can start a new life, you can start a new career, and
Right,
be a grandmother all at the same time.
yes, yeah,
And we don't, well, at least not in the Western world, we don't have this role models or ideas of how it should look like,
no,
because we are reinventing it, or we not but inventing
it's
it.
something new, yeah.
And the other part, and that's the reason why I'm so happy that I started it, and although I don't know what is the answer yet, so I really feel this wisdom talk. It's me looking for wisdom. It doesn't feel like I have to share
You
lots of
have to
wisdom
have the answers, yes.
yet, but well, but still, also about this. There's something with visibility, at
Okay.
least in the Western world, that we don't have this. We are not aware of what is going on in this phase of life, and then especially in the phase of life of women.
Hmm.
So if you don't pay any attention to it, then you just start becoming invisible.
Yeah.
So, and this was also the reason why I was starting on my quest, because I felt my children, they have left home, they have their own homes. Maybe I will start or stop working, or maybe I will do it a little bit less. So all the traditional roles, they were all disappear, or the traditional, the clear roles of what
Hmm.
I am here in life and who I am, they were disappearing. And then what's next? There's no new clear role. And I also noticed already now, not working, then people also find it difficult to know where to place me. What is my identity? I find it difficult too.
Hmm.
So this is really something, yeah, you have to pay attention, because if not, then you just
Yeah.
fade away,
Disappear. Yeah.
disappear, and that would be a pity, not
No.
only for me but also for the wisdom. And so it has something to do with taking grandmother or grandmother's wisdom for granted. What we shared in the first discussions, that we always take them for granted, like they're
Hmm.
always there, like
No.
like nature, it's always there. But no,
No.
it's not true. It's something to pay attention to
Mm.
by everybody, but also by the grandmothers themselves. So they need to find a voice, or they need to find a way to, how do we recognize each other.
Yeah.
So that's what my quest is all about.
Yeah. So what do you, just curious, because I know you're just starting this, but what do you imagine doing with that? Like what is that you dream that you wanna do next with that quest? And I know you're finding, and it's not to have all the answers, but yeah, just a little bit of
Well,
it's gonna be this new project.
yeah, it starts with consciousness.
Okay.
So so what I would dream is that I would be able to raise, or we would be able to raise consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
That people are more conscious of where they are and what stage they are, that they are living their lives consciously,
Yeah.
and that this phase also deserves a certain consciousness. That it's not just one day to the other. It's really a transition phase.
Yeah.
And I was even thinking that maybe we have to reinvent a ritual. Like, for all phases, you have these rituals,
Yes.
these initiations,
Yes.
and like birth, like death, marriage. Well, we are reliving a lot of rituals, like the 21st dinner, and like for young people, we organize all kind of things, or baby showers or whatever. But where is the ritual for going into the third act of your life?
Mm.
I don't know. So maybe something like that would come up.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has to be a great celebration, I don't know how, but it's like, yeah, because it's an age
Yeah,
where you can, it's like, okay, now you have the wisdom enough to don't pay attention to some things that they don't matter anymore, because it's like other things are important.
yeah,
Now I want to
yeah,
enjoy life. Now I can do other stuff. Now I can
yeah,
choose to do a new project, or now I can choose to do
yeah,
study something new, and also I can be a grandmother. So yeah, it's like an amazing time, and you still have energy and healthy, and
yeah.
so yeah, it should be a celebration. But society doesn't see it like that. It's like, oh yeah, life is over, and yeah.
Yeah, then so I was realizing that if you start at the third age, then you can look at the beginning or you can look at the end. But most people look at the end.
Mm.
So when I'm sharing about my project to most people, they say, "Oh no, you are not going to take yourself into a depression. What are you doing? You are not that old." So they're all looking at the end, while you can also look at the beginning. So
Is the
yeah,
beginning of the third act, or a new phase, or a new cycle.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's also the closing of the
Of
other
the other
two
one.
acts.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's not just a continuation. There is something is changing, but what exactly I don't know yet. But the
Yeah.
consciousness is important to realize. I really liked the talk of Christina Arillo
Hmm.
with the harmony
The harmony
wheels.
wheel. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I felt maybe this phase is also about checking all the issues in life and see how are the wheels turning. Am I still happy? What do I want to change?
Yeah.
What is happening? Am I healthy? Well, in all phases.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah,
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 yeah. And it's a great moment to check on that. How are all my plates that I'm, juggling in life?
exactly.
And
Yeah,
it's the time to check, well, how is this? And maybe I can do
yeah,
something different, or,
yeah.
yeah.
And what I feel is that I have been, well, working hard in all these rationalistic ways, and that now it's time to become more open to nature and mystic and things happening. And so that's what I liked also in working together with you, because I was the one all the time trying to to create some structure, and then you said, "No, just go with the flow and just play and just." And so beautifully how this all
Yes,
came
and that's so
together.
funny.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm so used to working in structure because of my
Yeah.
corporate work, that I just decided that this specific project, I don't want to take it that way. I
Yeah.
want to learn to do
Exactly.
something
Yeah.
different, to play with it, to experiment with it. And it's like, okay, I myself, I want to prove also, and maybe show others that there is another way to do things, and things will happen. Like it's happening, we created this
Yeah.
event, but in
Yeah.
another way, in a more relaxing. Of course we have a structure, and thank to you that also helped me organize things, but I don't know, it just feels different. It doesn't have to be the crazy same timing of our system of corporate world or the work we now we the usual work we always have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are other ways, and that's what I love about this.
Yeah.
And yeah, and this is like perfect timing for also understanding that there are other ways to create things.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I learned from you, and that's what I'm thankful for.
Mm.
And what I feel that will come into my life more and more. And that's part of, well, what they call the grandma wisdom.
Yeah, yeah. That is so good. And so how it feels, because I know recently you became a grandma because life took you there to that new phase. And how is that? How did it happen? And how do you
Yeah.
feel about that? You know?
Yes, it's not, I call myself a bonus grandma because
Yes,
it's not from my own children.
I know.
It's the children of my partner, the two daughters. They both have, one has a daughter, Isabella. She's almost 3. And the other one has a son, Bauke, who was just born just before Christmas. But I remember when Isabella was being born at that time, I realized very, very much. We were both aware because we got signal that, well, at this moment she's being born, that a new creature was coming to this world. And of course, so many creatures are coming to this world every moment. So, but I was so moved by it
Mm,
that we didn't know at that time what she was going to look like, what she was going to be like, but somebody special was coming.
I know.
And I was so aware of that. And then I also realized with my own children, I didn't have this awareness because it was different. Of course, I was also working hard and being in labor. So I had a lot of other things on my mind, but it really felt like my children being born from me, they were kind of an extension from me.
Yeah.
And of course, they are not, but it felt really more part of me. And now it really felt like a unique creature that was that is not only part of her father and mother, but of her own. And this realization was really very, very special. And whether that has to do with becoming a grandmother or not, but feeling so close to this creature
Mm,
was very moving.
mm.
Yeah. So in a way, I feel that it was kind of an initiation too.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's almost like life took you into a new role that, of course,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not from your
Yeah.
own children, but you now you are, yeah, you're
Yeah.
in a place where
Yeah.
yeah, that's the role to play also. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And in many ways, it's changing. So I see it also changing with my own children who are really having their own lives now, not coming home too often anymore. So yeah, so life takes you there in these new roles. Yeah.
Yeah,
And of course, it will take you there anyway, whether you're conscious or not. But
it is true. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think one of the discussions I've been also in these interviews and that we've been hearing is that we can all at some point play this role of the grandmother with others, you know, not
yeah,
because of you're in a situation where your partner has become a grandfather, so because you're with him, you become a grandmother, but we can play this role in different ways and understanding what does it mean, what is this role about, you know,
yeah,
is it about caring, is it about love, is it about teaching your wisdom, giving back your experiences. And even as an aunt, I was talking the other day with this woman, amazing woman from Australia, her name is Heather,
yeah,
and she told me like you as an aunt can play the role of a grandmother, you know.
yeah,
So that's beautiful because then it's like, okay, so I'm as an aunt, I also have a responsibility, you know. It's not like, okay, yes, I am an aunt, but we also need to understand what is so special of these roles that we can, you know,
yeah.
create some impact also out there in the world, in children, in people, in our jobs.
Yeah, and I think it has everything to do with this consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can be an aunt or you can be a grandmother, but if you're not conscious about your role or about your own position or who you are, or you are not a conscious leader of your own life, then you cannot give this energy to anybody, not of the quality that it could be.
No, it is true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or even if sometimes like you were saying at the beginning, especially because society is so or we are so denying of aging people or elders in society, or people that are aging becoming going to the third act. So it's like, oh, I don't want to realize that I'm here, so I don't want to play that role, and
hmm,
so I deny it, or I just don't want to step in there because I'm going to feel old. So then, yeah, then you're losing that chance of,
yeah.
wow, life is giving you a new chance to, wow, like create impact in someone else, like a leader, like a conscious leader. Yeah.
Yes, and also for society, there's still a lot to gain if the elder people keep on contributing, whether it's in a formal role or in an informal
Yes.
role.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is what we are finding out also. So there is some discussion on it in the Netherlands, but it's still very,
There you go.
yeah, systemic. I know it's really about what the employer should do. It's what the government should do, but it's, well,
Mm-mm.
it's really still in a very
Yeah.
early stage. We have to find out.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's your quest and journey for sure. Because I know there is a small movement, and we can start understanding, and through your project, what is those because there are new initiatives around, okay. For example, I work in HR, and I've seen new initiatives of, for example, recruiting companies that are just focusing on people, I don't know, 60 years above. And yeah, why not? That's in a specific now is in a specific range of age that we can use, and it's out there, and it's full of energy, and people can hire them. And society is talking a lot about diversity, equity, inclusion. So, but it's still that part of of the society is not so included. We talk about women, we talk about race, we talk about
Yeah.
sexual orientation, but it's still aging is like, okay, we don't want to face that one yet.
No, and it's also not a one that is asking a lot of attention.
Right.
So
That's
this
the
is
other
about
thing.
visibility
That's a
and
good point. It is
yeah.
true. Yes. Yes. Not
But
asking a
if you
lot of
don't pay
attention.
attention, it just fades
Yeah.
away.
Yes.
And then it's also, the women, the older women, they also have the tendency themselves to say, okay, you go first, just fade away.
Yeah, I stay here waiting to see what's going to happen. And no, yeah. And that's the
Yeah,
beauty of your project, because there is so much to do and to create the new and design the new around that. Because actually, our world and population is aging. Everybody's aging. So what? What is going to happen? And we don't want to face it. So what about that? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Beautiful.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you think, and how do you see like all this that we're doing together and collectively weaving with others, how we can create this impact uh, in the world, touching this wisdom, this feminine wisdom?
I think we're already doing it.
Yeah, right. Yes,
You
just keep
know,
doing
I
it, right?
really, yeah, I come back to that every time again and again. I realized when we were starting this, I have been to Peru about 4 or 5 years ago
Mm-hmm.
on this beautiful leadership journey with Tiara International. And
Yay.
we were there with two shamans in the Andes Mountains, and we went to the Coloriti Festival,
Yeah.
which is only for the local people every 2 years, I think it is. But we were there; it was so impressive. But the beauty of the Indians that accompanied us, they said they have this tradition of all the wisdom that they keep on giving to the next generation by sharing the story. So it's mouth to mouth to mouth. And luckily it still exists. So it has not disappeared. And I felt so grateful to be there and that they were so, they want to share, because they said this is so important to share on the Pachamama and that everybody knows. And they also come to Europe, they go all around the world to share on it. So I really felt so moved that these lines from history, from the earth and history were continuing to today, and that we could be part of the story and that we could bring it back to Europe and that it had been preserved and continued. So I had this idea of, you have these lines from the past to the present, but also all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's possible now because we can travel, because we are interested in each other, we want to know, we can share, we collect, this was literally weaving.
Yeah.
And then I also thought, and then with the internet, it's also possible. So the Indians and the people from India, they can connect. That was not possible 3,000 years ago. But now, or maybe it was, I don't know, maybe they had a different kind of internet.
Yes.
Now we have the internet, so they can talk, they can share information. So I really had this vision of how it all got connected. And then suddenly, 2 weeks ago, I realized, here, this is what is happening. So this is the weaving.
It is true.
So this 2-3 weeks that we are now working on this Grandma's March really makes me feel aware is that it's already happening.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like something huge should be planned or created, but it's just the small things. But we need to see it, we need to treasure it, we need to take care and to put them into vision and not hide them somewhere so nobody sees it, because sometimes you have to put the spotlight on it, because otherwise it's too busy, nobody pays attention.
Yeah.
But it feels that it's maybe even more close than we sometimes think.
Yes.
And we are here. The wisdom is here. It has been kept. It has been passed on from generation to generation. Maybe not in my generations, but still, then I can get in touch with it through you and your stories and all the other beautiful stories. So it's just to realize it.
Yes, yes.
And to treasure it. So that's how it feels for me, at least.
I love it. I love it because sometimes we don't realize that, we're doing it and we're just weaving and it's just trust the process, it's not like we have to do this gigantic thing, but it's just we're doing it and just keep doing it and trust the process and keep flowing with that.
Yeah.
And don't take it for granted, like you say at the beginning.
No, and what I also noticed that the women that I'm interviewing in my collection of role models, many of them say, now that I have the age or the role of the grandmother, I really feel more liberated. So I also feel less fear to speak up of what I think is important or to speak up for my role. So on the one hand, there's a tendency to become invisible, but on the other hand, there's also a lot of liberation and say, okay, speak up and speak out.
Yes.
So that makes me feel positive because we just keep on weaving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So we have been already talking here like 40 minutes and it's been amazing, and we can stay forever like talking and weaving and sharing our thoughts. And Marge, what will be like a last message that you want to leave, and especially for those women that that maybe want to be part of your project and maybe are hiding somewhere and are entering into that third act? What would you like to say to them? We just want to honor the women of the world.
Yes, just feel loved. You are not alone and we are not alone. So just be aware that it's not, you are not alone on your journey, and feel that you are being loved by life itself.
Yeah,
That's what I, yeah,
I love it.
feel myself.
Yes, allow yourself to just be, and yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, I really want to thank you for this beautiful time sharing here, and yeah, letting me interview you and
Yes.
have your own session. I really wanted to honor that and honor your beautiful work and
I
the
want to show
amazing.
you something,
Yes.
because I brought this stick. This really feels connected to, because that's really what's helping me also to feel connected to Mother Earth.
Wow.
So this stick, it's just an ordinary stick from the woods, but still it really feels good because
It does. It's not an ordinary stick. You can feel it. It's beautiful.
it's my maybe it's my own initiation, which I
Yes.
created when I was hiking in the mountains, and I forgot my walking stick, so I found this one and I carried it home with me. And it really feels, when I touch it, I touch the woods, I touch the ground, I touch the mountains.
Hmm.
So I
That's
wanted to
really
show it,
beautiful. Oh,
shine
yeah.
the spotlight on it.
And it feels to me like from now on, when you do your interviews, you should show up with that in some way. You know, that's your new, I don't know, your new
This is
symbol.
my symbol. Yeah,
Yes,
this is
it
my
is.
crone.
Yeah, that's your crown. I love it. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, yes, beautiful.
Wow.
Okay, so thank you, and
Thank you, Monica.
this will keep
For
flowing, and we will keep weaving, and and I hope to see you soon. Yes,
yes,
really
for
want to.
sure. We will see each other soon.
We
And
have to meet soon, and yeah, hopefully without COVID and everything. But yeah, I want to really give you a hug and thank you for everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's been a real pleasure. So thank you, and have a great rest of, I guess it's night already for you, rest of day for me, and we keep waving. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.